Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to The Ground Up. I'm Jay. Today we're going to be talking about cognitive functions, TI and FE. So there's two different MBTI types that have this combination in the middle of their cognitive stack. And those two types are the ESTP and ENTP. We're going to be talking about how that works. So the thing is that the placing of your cognitive function determines how you use that function. And so for the ESTP and ENTP, they both have TI and FE in their second, in their second and third place in their cognitive stack. So TI and FE are what you would say are the they're not as dominant as they're not their dominant functions. However, it's very interesting how they play out. With TI and FE, TI is all about reality, finding out the underlying reality of situations. And then FE, being in the third slot, it actually has to deal with, still figuring out how people feel, how, the external environment. But because TI is above FE, it's about finding the underlying reality of how people feel. So it's very investigative. It's the type of combination that gives the ESTP and ENTP a sort of understanding or just a desire to want to understand the reason people do the things that they do, the sort of what's behind what I'm seeing type of behavior. And so the ESTP and the ENTP understand that within each other, and that's why they even have it's kind of like an understood language between one another. An ESTP and an ENTP understand each other to an extent to where, you could say one thing but mean something else. That's sort of how we see the world, is that we think of things as one person may say something, but what does that mean? There's a misconception that it's only the INFJs that do this, or maybe even some of the other, like feeler types, like maybe even INFPs. However, I would say that ENTPs and ESTPs are highly investigative when it comes to figuring out the underlying reality of what people say. This is the sort of motivational factor that goes unspoken about a lot of times. This is what causes the conflicts that you see a lot of times between the types, like when ENTPs are talking to people, or just the trouble that an ESTP may get into. It's because they have this investigative nature about how people work, and they'll pry for that information. There's two sides to this. There can be a negative side to that and a positive. So negatively, it can lead to arguments, it can lead to dispute, it can lead to crossing boundaries. But on a positive note, it can lead to sort of helping to mend a situation. They can even be mediators to an extent, as well as whistleblowers. Now, what do I mean by whistleblowers? So because FE is so low in the cognitive stack for each of these types, I would not say harmony is actually the main, is like their function. I think that if you're a dominant FE user, then you could consider that harmony. However, their goal is not to align themselves with how everybody's feeling. TI-FE users' goal is to understand the underlying reason as to why people are doing what they're doing and why they're feeling the way that they're feeling, the motivation. And so whenever there's something that they sense somebody saying, or they feel as if something isn't true, because they're not, their FE serves their TI, and not their FE serves their TI, or not their TI serves their FE, we feel comfortable speaking on matters because it's about the accuracy over the feeling. We have the ability to sense extroverted feeling, but we're all about, the extroverted feeling serving the underlying reality. What does it mean by what you're saying? And TI-FE users are not afraid to point that out. The difference between a TI FE user that has that in the middle of their stack as opposed to like an ESFJ is that the ESFJ has that FE function as their main function. What they want to do is align themselves with how everybody's feeling. It's not to necessarily know why people are doing what they're doing. If they do want to know why, it's so that, or if they do know what they want to know what it is that people like doing, and they want to remember what it is. They want to be able to meet a certain expectation of people around them. Yeah, so this is just sort of a thing that I wanted to talk about because I feel like there's it's not really touched on a lot. TIFE actually has a very investigative nature, and it really does mean well, but it can actually have a negative impact if not used correctly because, people have these certain boundaries. Sometimes that can be a good thing that TIFE actually will cross boundaries because there's times to where people don't want to speak on a matter that may be too sensitive, but it needs to be addressed. Maybe somebody is, being treated a certain way, but it's not brought up. Maybe somebody needs to be checked. Maybe maybe we need to be checked. But it's about accuracy and it's about reality. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.